Jai Govardhana Dhari ki Jai, Shri Gopal Ji ki Jai, Bhagavan Saraswati Thakur ki Jai, Jai Saparikar Shri Shri Guru Gauranga, Gandharvika Giridhari Ji ki Jai, Shri Shri Kirtor Gopinath ki Jai, Mahaprabhu Gauranga Sundar Jai, Nityananda Sarup, Advaita Acharya Prabhu ki Jai, Ishvara Puri Prabhu ki Jai, Paramananda Puri Prabhu ki Jai, Govinda Kunda ki Jai, Hare Krishna, Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Madhacharya Vrinda ki Jai, Ganga Devi, Jamuna Devi, Bhakti Devi, Tulsi Devi ki. The floor is nice and cool. So, today's very important day and supremely auspicious because of the gift of Madhavendra Puri. We see all these holidays that precede Sri Gaur Purnima like an arc. They're leading up to this time when we had Vasant Panchami, Vishnu Priya, and all the great devotees, Raghunath Das Goswami, Prayojan Tadvacharya, and the Advaita Acharya, Prabhu Mahavishnu, Sadashiva. And we're telling you that each one, we could say, is responsible for the gift of Sri Chaitanya Dev. It's very amazing. And we will say, no, and my Guru Dev brought me in connection with Mahaprabhu. And it's all true. But because Vishnu Priya, she, as Guru Maharaj says, Taktva Sudushta Jasureb Shita Raja Lakshmin, the imperial throne of the love in the heart, enshrined in the heart of Vishnu Priya Devi. It's her sacrifice. How happy they are in their pastime, Nimai Pandit and Vishnu Priya Devi and Sachi Mata. And it's heart-rending, heart-breaking for a purpose. It's Krishna Viraha. It's the broken heart really is ready to receive Krishna conception. It has the right qualification. We see a hint of that type of separation in the pastimes of Ramachandra and Sita, but it's more fully expressed in the Krishna-lila, and Krishna appreciating the zenith of the separation point in the heart of Srimati Radharani in two places, Kurukshetra and the Urva Darshan, where Brahmar Gita is expressed. Mahaprabhu, besides doing the Yuga Dharma, Kale Nama Rupe Krishna, giving the holy name of Krishna to everyone, distributing Krishna-prem, internally, Param Kasyapi Prani Janamrina Sukutuki, observing Radharani, and particularly the type of prem, Krishna-prem, Mahabhav, that she expresses in separation from Krishna, has astonished him, utterly astonished Krishna, so much so that he wants to experience that. It's inconceivable of inconceivable things. This is nothing like this is even remotely described in any other religion or theistic system. How the Lord wants to embrace the position of the devotee, and not all devotees are great, but not just any devotee, the supreme devotee of Krishna, Srimati Radharani, Mahabhav Swarupini Radha Thakurani, the inconceivable quality of divine love for Krishna that she possesses. And not only that, but when it reaches its zenith point, which it achieves in the depths of separation. So one would think, why so much fascination with and obsession with what can arguably be said to be the most painful thing imaginable? Not to us, because we don't properly appreciate these things. But we see even in this world, the theme of love songs, of the heartbreak of the lovers, what they call torch songs, where their hearts are breaking and they're crying out in separation from one another. It's the most intense sort of love song within this world. So what to speak if that is amplified ad infinitum? It's beyond what we can conceive. Right? But that Krishna viraha, how Krishna can experience that as Krishna. Govinda Mari Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Krishna is the supreme enjoyer. Right? He's in the position of the enjoyer. Ekala Ishwara Krishna Arsa Britya. Everyone else is servitor, or in another sense, enjoyed. Shakti, Shaktiman. So to experience that, he has to embrace the position of his beloved, right? To actually experience what she experiences. This is not time. So for Mahaprabhu to descend for these two purposes, to distribute Nam Sankirtan and relish the same, but also Rasa Ashvadan, and particularly Krishna Viraha. That's what that is his intent, his inner purpose. So always be, just as before Krishna comes, the Guru Varga appears. And that means mother, father, auntie, uncle, teachers, respectable personages. Same thing in the pastimes of Mahaprabhu. Right? But of particular note, considered, the Prem Kalpataru, the Prem Uncourt, the first seed of this type of Prem, of love, divine love and affection, said to be in Madhavendra Puri. Right? Because although ostensibly descending in the Madhva line, this sort of divine love is unknown there. So as Guru Maharaj wrote in one of his famous essays, The Pontifical Position of Madhavendra Puri, and it's interesting to note, the pontiff, this word means like a bridge. So really he's a bridge from the Madhva line to what becomes the Gaudiya Sampradaya. And that Madhavendra Puri, we're told, he's so detached. He's very quiet. He's not talking. He doesn't interact with ordinary people, lest he lose his focus or waste his time. He's visiting holy places. Sometimes we hear, it is said, some say that the sannyasi who asked Harai Pandit for Nityananda Prabhu was Madhavendra Puri. When I said this to Srila Gurudev once, and he responded by saying, some say. And I realized, that's the definitive answer. Some say. It can go either way, but that's the way it's said. Some say. And it's also said sometimes, you can judge a guru by his disciples. Right? And look, who are the disciples of Madhavendra Puri? Nityananda Prabhu, right? Advaita Acharya, right? Ishvara Puri, right? Paramananda Puri, who's Uddhava. So you have Balaram, Mahavishnu, Sadashiva. I'm not sure, but possibly, but because of Advaita connection. But you see, these are his disciples. And others, I think, Rangapuri, there are others mentioned, but Paramananda Puri is Uddhava. So how great is Madhavendra Puri? But that Madhavendra Puri, he's visiting different holy places, always taking Krishna Nam. We're told if someone offers him something, he doesn't really beg. If someone offers him something, he takes something. If no one offers anything, he doesn't take anything. It's not even like Madhukari, right? He's so absorbed internally. Only if someone offers does he take. Somehow he's maintaining his life, and he goes to Govardhan, to Govinda Kunda, and he's happily there remembering the Lord and his divine pastimes, and going on with this program of not asking anyone for many. And we're told some ladies from nearby, they notice this divine personality. He's there, and they also notice not taking anything, or seems oblivious to the external world, so deeply absorbed. And that, according to one cowherd boy, he says he was sent by these ladies to offer Madhavapuri Maharaj some milk. So this little cowherd boy shows up with the milk, and Madhavendra Puri sees he's so charming and beautiful. Where did you come? He said, I live in the village nearby. And I see you're also upabasi, you're fasting. No one in our village fasts. And some ladies, they saw you here and they sent me with this milk. So please take this, and I have to go tend to the cows. I'll be back to collect the container. And Madhavendra Puri is like, the milk is extraordinary, nectarine substance, and he's saying how beautiful this boy is, and finishing, he cleans the pot very nicely, waiting for the boy, the beautiful boy, to return. He never returns. Then he's just saying, just take Krishna Nam, repeatedly taking Krishna Nam, until he just drifts off into a slumber, his external body sleep, and he's deep in the inner world, and that's when the boy comes to him and says, actually, I'm Govardhanadari, the lifter of Govardhan Hill. He said, and I'm living in this forest nearby because we find out he's the deity of Krishna's great-grandson, Vajra. And due to the political atmosphere at the time, the pujari, thinking of the deity's welfare, hid him in a kunja nearby, but then had to flee for his life. So he's saying, I'm in that kunja, and if you could please get the local people and bring me out. Then Madhavendra Puri, he awakens and he thinks like, oh, I saw Krishna directly and I could not recognize him. So he's feeling great fortune at the same time, like, Krishna, I was dealing with Krishna directly and I didn't know it was him. Which shows the sweetness of Krishna's sort of like naughty behavior to simultaneously reveal himself and conceal himself. So the next day, Madhavendra Puri goes to the simple-hearted folks there in Govardhan and tells them about his dream. Gopal's in the kunj, let's go and they follow Madhavendra Puri into the jungle there, And then they see the deity, they pull him out, he's all covered in dust and dirt and so many other things. And it takes many strong men to pull him out. And then they take a big stone, put one stone slab as like an altar, another stone slab behind, and put the deity there, and they have the installation. Well, really not installation, abhishek of Gopal. I mean, they bring water from Govindakunda, they're putting oil, milk, ghee, panchagavya, means the 5 type of different substances from the cow, milk, yogurt, butter, etc. And the ghee gives the deity a nice glossy finish, and they're, have a big feast. That's when they celebrate the Annakut, means they offer mounds, little like, miniature hills of prasadam for Gopal. And what's interesting, all the local people come, they get very excited. Rich people are coming from Mathura, from other places. They want to give gifts to Gopal. Now he's got 1,000 cows. They're giving jewels, gold, silver, all kinds of foodstuffs. Everybody, each village once a day where they can do the Annakut. That's our day, right? So they come in, they do all the cooking, and we're told, and all this prasadam is mountains of prasadam are being offered. What does Madhavendra Puri? He doesn't take anything, but at the end of the day, he takes some milk before he rests. So he's just happy seeing all of these wonderful things being offered to Gopal. And this goes on for 2 years. He brings some Bengali Brahmins, initiates them, sets up the Seva Puja, and it's going on like this for 2 years. Everyone's happy. Then Gopal appears to him again in a dream and says, I'm still hot. Head is hot, body is hot. After all you've done and what you've done is really amazing and wonderful. Still, this condition persists. So what I want you to do is go to the Malay province. He wants them to go to Orissa and get the best sandalwood and the best camphor. You rub the sandalwood, chandan, on the grinding stone, add some camphor, and when you apply it, it's very cool. Sandalwood itself is cooling, and then the camphor makes it even more cooling. And Madhavendra Puri is very old at this point, and this is, 1,000 kilometers, something, maybe more. But happily, he accepts this seva. There's no complaint, he doesn't consider it a burden. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says in one of his songs that what someone might perceive as the burden of seva, he's saying, that's my happiness. We're familiar with the expression, labor of love. Krishna consciousness is where that must have come from. It's the original labor of love. And so happily he's going, and this is in the day when the country is divided, so there are checkpoints. We think we only experience, there's customs people, officials, but they see some extraordinary sadhu, divine person, they're letting him through without obstacle, but still so far to travel. And when he goes first to Navadip, and he's seeing Advaita Acharya. I think Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote a song about that as well. That song, Ek Dina Shanti Pure, Prabhu Advaita Gore, at the house of Madhavendra. Anyway, so happily they meet, and then he proceeds towards Puri. Remember, when Mahaprabhu, after taking sannyas, he wants to go to Vrindavan, but he ends up in Puri. Right? When he'll see from Ataranala, what is it? Ataranala. When he sees the chakra, remember, when Mahaprabhu sees the chakra, he says, the Bal Gopal Murti. When he sees the chakra, he goes, Krishna smiling at me. That's what he sees when he sees the chakra. Gopal. Gopal smiling at me. And so it says, then after he said that, all the devotees, they would chant that when they see the chakra and start making their approach. Gopal smiling at, smiling lotus face of Gopal, he's smiling at me. That's how they proceed. So he's on his way, but on the way to Puri, he comes to the town Remuna, and there's the deity Gopinath. At this time, just Gopinath, which is good enough. Go Sriman Rasa Rasa Rangbi Bangshi Bhatta Tatastita Karshan Venu Swanai Gopi Gopinatha Sresa, the Lord of the Gopis. So such a beautiful name, Gopinath. Right? So wonderful. How can you improve on that? Well, we may see. So when he's there, one thing we see in the temples, they'll always have one type of prasadam that's unique to that temple. Right? They'll have some special thing they offer their deity you won't find anywhere else. Right? So there, this Amrita Keli, this particular type of kheer, which is very difficult to translate. Sometimes we'll see condensed milk. It's just kheer. It's this extraordinary, let's say, condensed milk-like substance. Right? But the real name there is telling Amrita Keli, which sounds a lot sweeter. So that's theirs. They offer 12 pots of this kheer to the deity in the evening, right, at the end of the day. And Madhavendra Puri is seeing that, and he is thinking, it looks so wonderful. And he's thinking, if perhaps I could taste a little bit of that kheer, then I could figure out how we can also make that for Gopal. And then he's thinking, what am I saying? And shows what a great devotee he is. Look at the mindset of the greater devotees. He's thinking, on the plea of, for Gopal, I want to taste and enjoy that. The Gopal part is just an excuse for me to taste this. What kind of man am I? A great devotee is thinking like that. Right? So he's very disturbed with himself, stays for the arati, then he goes on taking Krishna Nam and just disgusted with himself. And drifts off to sleep, taking Krishna Nam. But we're told that evening, the pujari, Gopinath, appears to him in a dream and said, there is one great devotee here, his name Madhavendra Puri. And when you offered the kheer, I stole one pot and hid it under my dhoti. So you come and get that and take it to my devotee, Madhavendra Puri. And the pujari is going, wondering the validity of this dream, prepares himself, enters the temple room, lifts up the deity's cloth, and he sees there's one pot of kheer, and he's saying, oh my. Takes that pot of kheer, and in the dead of night he's going out, is there a sannyasi here by the name of Madhavendra Puri? And finally he hears him, and yes, I am that. And he said, oh, you are the most fortunate person in the world. Why is that? Gopinath stole kheer for you. So when I say, how can you improve on the name Gopinath? Kheer Chor Gopinath. That's how he then becomes famous. Not only Gopinath, but who's a kheer stealer. And why does he do that? For his devotee, to shine a spotlight on the devotion of Madhavendra Puri. So Madhavendra Puri, then what is his method? He takes that kheer, his consciousness is so elevated that he considers the pot worshipable, that he got that as a clay pot, right? Like we hear, Aradhananam Sarvesham Vishnu Aradhanam Param, Tasmat Parataram Devi, Tadiyanam Tadiya, that which is related to the Lord is even more worshipable. So the pot, this shows his level of devotion, that's worshipable to him. And he breaks it into many pieces, wraps it up in a cloth, and we're told every day he'll take one piece, and he's relishing the clay pot that was the container for the kheer, right? So substantial Krishna consciousness is always measured in the inverse, not by an ostentatious display of achievement, but the very inverse of that. The least aspect is worshipable to him. Like the Radha Mukunda Parasambhava Garma Bindu sloka of Rupa Goswami's praise of Lalita Saki. The greatest magnitude of eagerness for the least aspect of seva. So, but then Madhavendra Puri also realizes the word is going to spread, and then people will be coming, they want to take the dust from my feet, saying, oh, you're such a great... He's running from that. He's running from Pratishta. Right? So he decides to leave before sunrise and go to Puri. But already they know when he arrives. Are you that Madhava Puri, Maharaj? We have heard, And then he tells them the story of Gopal. They're very happy to supply everything. And they give around 30 kilos of the best sandalwood and like 8 ounces of the best quality camphor. And he's taking that, and with like papers to show the customs people, and he's taking that back, stops in Remuna on his way back to see Gopinath. And Gopal appears again in a dream and says, me and Gopinath, same, but different, but same, mainly. We're the same. So if you offer all the chandan and the camphor to Gopinath, I'll get relief. No need to come all the way back to Govardhan. And so how kind is Krishna? Madhavendra Puri will happily do that seva, traveling by foot with 40 kilos of chandan. But Krishna realized that whatever test this may be conceived as, he passed in flying colors. So you just give to and it is true. Gopinath and they're the same. So he's saying and then the devotees there of Gopinath, they're very happy to hear that. And so, but what I want to say is that when I said one of his disciples, Ishwara Puri, who later becomes the guru of Mahaprabhu, so-called, we're told he achieved his position by rendering, again, the least aspect of seva to Madhavendra Puri Pad on his disappearance bed. When he can no longer care for himself, he's cleansing with his own hands, his stool, urine like this, and happily, he's not thinking this is something objectionable, but that a very honorable position that he's achieved. It may be inconceivable for us to think, right? But nonetheless, it is expressed there, right? That way. And at that time, Madhavendra Puri, he starts expressing some divine lamentation in Krishna Viraha, right? Where he's saying, Matra Napainu, I did not achieve Matra. Krishna Napainu, I did not achieve Krishna. Right? And this one foolish disciple of his, saying like, why are you lamenting? A spiritual, Brahma Bhuta Prasanatma Nasochati Nakankshati. A spiritually advanced person is not lamenting about anything. You should absorb yourself in thinking of Brahman. So he misreads the heartfelt Krishna Viraha of Madhavendra Puri, angering Madhavendra Puri, and he drives him away from him at that time. While Iswara Puri is chanting Krishna Nam, serving him, bringing about divine remembrance of Krishna. And we're told, at that time, this sloka appears from the heart of Madhavendra Puri. And so it's key to understanding the descent of Mahaprabhu. His internal reason for descent is to relish this viraha bhav. Bahye visajalahoy bitare anandamoy Krishna Premer Adbhuta Charit. The astonishingly wonderful characteristic of Krishna-prem is and meaning particularly in separation, is externally it appears as though one is suffering the effects of poison, cobra venom, internally relishing some peculiar nectarine substance. So Madhavendra Puri, what comes out of his heart at that time, we're told his heart is mirroring the divine sentiments of Srimati Radharani. It was a verse that is spoken by her originally. Just think of that. By her. And then it's appearing from the heart of Madhavendra Puri. Right? So, remember, after Mahaprabhu takes sannyas, he's trying to go to Vrindavan, Kahan Krishna, Prananath Murali Vadan, Kahan Karun, Kahan Pan, Rajendra Nandan. He's madly searching for Krishna, running in every direction. Guru said, in a childlike state in divine madness, practically running in a circle. We can say the gravitational pull of the love and affection in the hearts of his devotees will not allow him to go. It can be considered from many points of view. But then he gets the inspiration to go to Puri. And so it's Mahaprabhu who, on his way to Puri, stops in Ramuna. And he's telling the glories of Madhavendra Puri. So understand this, it is not an accident that this is this first major stop of Mahaprabhu, and he's telling these things. It's given in the Madhya Lila chapter 4. The Madhya Lila is where the past, it's Chaitanya Bhagavat is the Adi Lila, is given greatest emphasis, and then the Madhya Lila, and culminates the Antya Lila of Chaitanya Bhagavat culminates in the sannyas of Mahaprabhu. Right? Chaitanya Charitamrita begins with the sannyas of Mahaprabhu. Right? It only deals with his Adi Lila, his pre-sannyas pastimes, in a summary form. It begins in earnest after the sannyas of Mahaprabhu, because it's going to place the emphasis on a different perspective, Krishna Viraha. So this is what Mahaprabhu is, when he leaves, when what is the name? Keshava Bharati gives him sannyas, and we're told Shuddha Saraswati, Dibya Saraswati descends upon his tongue and says, your name will be Krishna Chaitanya because you've come to give Krishna consciousness to the world. Then he's running madly with his perhaps 4 devotees. Right? But the first truly significant place that Kaviraj Goswami expands upon is when he reaches Remuna. And there, he's telling his devotees, I heard this from my Gurudev, Ishwar Puri. That's how it came down. Who's a disciple of Madhavendra Puri. So he's saying, my Gurudev, Ishwar Puri, told me this. Now, remember, the chandan, right? The rubbing of the sandalwood. So after telling these pastimes, when he approaches the passing of Madhavendra Puri, Krishnadas Kaviraj describes it this way, saying, the sloka that came from the heart of Madhavendra Puri, mirroring the sentiments of Srimati Radharani, he said, it is the supreme sloka of Rasa Kavya. Kavya means poetry. Saying, this is, as the Kaustuba gem is considered on the chest of Krishna, is the supreme jewel. Saying, this sloka is the supreme jewel of Rasa Kavya. Right? So, and he said, and it's like moonshine. It illumines everything. Right? And Mahaprabhu's asking Nityananda Prabhu, is there anyone more, can you imagine anyone more fortunate than he? And Kaviraj Goswami says, of this sloka, so you have Srimati Radharani, Madhavendra Puri, and then Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He said, there isn't a 4th man who can taste this. And what the sloka is, because we think, after this huge build-up, and I would admit, I thought, like, oh, it's going to be something very intimate, or after hearing it, it's so, how do you say, simple and encrypted. It's all encrypted there. Right? So he says, what came from him at that time? He said, Ai dina dayadranata he maturanata kadava lakshase hridaya tvam aloka kartaram doita brahmyati kim karomyaham. It's Srimati Radharani saying, as we told, they're hearing Madhavendra Puri saying, Mathura Napai didn't achieve Mathura. What does that mean? Where Krishna was at the time. That implies a separation. Krishna Napainu, I did not achieve Krishna. And this verse is saying that I'm so deen, fallen, low, in such a low position, but you are you're an ocean of mercy and kindness. But if I do not achieve you, Kim Karomyaham means, how will I go on? If I do not see you, how will I continue? That's basically what it says. We're told, this is the supreme sloka of Rasa Kavya. What does it say? In a few words, the devotee is saying, without you, how can I continue my life? In there it's encrypted. And Srila Gurudev told me once that Guru Maharaj explained to him, and he said, I cannot, tell that, He said, maybe someday I will tell you. Then right before his passing, he told me one day, he said, the key is deen and daya. And that's all he said. But those are deen, dina, fallen and low, and daya, merciful. Those two extremes. So we're told when Mahaprabhu would hear this, he would go into an ecstatic trance. He was so moved by this that he couldn't say it. He would just go, Ai Deen, and then fall on the ground, or his body would be trembling, his hair standing on, and tears flowing from his eyes. Right. And what does Kaviraj Goswami say? To tie these two things together, he's saying, as just by when you're rubbing sandalwood. Right? Why is he saying? We just heard a story, right? Not just a story, but Lila passing, of the rubbing of the sandalwood. It's all about the sandalwood, right? And he said, just as when you rub the sandalwood, it releases its essence, right? The aroma, the fragrance, its essence comes out through continuous rubbing, more and more and more. He said, by considering this sloka, it reveals itself to you more and more and more infinitely. Right? But on the surface, like concealed, encrypted with simplicity. So, Madhavendra Puri, or as you can speak, he considered the Prem Ankur, the seed of Krishna-prem. And Ishwara Puri in that way, and Mahaprabhu, we're told, he becomes the trunk of the Bhakti Kalpataru. Right? But on that theme, you see at the beginning of the Madhya-lila, perhaps it's chapter 2, Srila Gurudev could sing all the verses from that chapter. Sometimes he would do that. And there the emphasis is given on, because we're told it's Shesh Lila, really. The Adi Lila and Shesh Lila. Shesh Lila means the final pastimes. And the Shesh Lila is divided into two, Madhya Lila and Antya Lila. But there, the position, the feelings, the heart of Srimati Radharani is revealed. And as mirrored in the expressions of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he says that Krishna-prem, Jaina Jambu Nadahem. It's not a thing of this world. He said, like Jambu Nada, means Hema Jambu Nada, the legendary gold of the heavenly planets. Sometimes we hear that there are rivers of gold there. Right? So here's saying, well, that's not something we have in this world where we live, but it's in that world. So Mahaprabhu is saying, Krishna-prem is not a thing of this world. And as Guru Maharaj would say, echoing the same section, it's so high, so wonderful, so heart-swallowing, that once coming in contact with it, if there was any separation from it, you would have to die. It's not. So if you're alive, that means you can't have it. You couldn't possibly have it, because if you came once in touch with this divine substance and were separated from it, you'd have to die. That's the logic presented there. So then they say, but wait, why is Mahaprabhu saying, Nam Nam Akari Badhudha Nidra Sarva Shaktis Tatarpitak Niyamatak Smarane Nakala Etadrashi Tabakripa Bhagavan Mamapi Durdeva Midrasami Hajani Nanurag. You're so wonderful. In all your names, you're fully present there. All your potency, everything. But Durdevam. Radharani says the same word, Durdevam, my great misfortune. What? Na anurag. I have no taste for this. It's there, but I don't have any taste for it. No attraction, no taste. That comes from the lips of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. What should our position be? Right? So, but they're still the same. But Mahaprabhu, we see, these symptoms of ecstasy, tears like streams of Ganga are shooting out of your eyes. And he said, it's a kite of a Krishna-prem, Hema Jambunara Hem. But this one, na prema gandasti darapi meharo, krandami sobhagya baram prakashitam. Mahaprabhu says in response, I don't have a scent of the fragrance of Krishna-prem, what to speak of a drop of that divine substance. And people say, no, but what about the stream, the Ganga-like streams of tears that are incessantly pouring from your eyes? He said, no, understand for certain, that is just to cheat the public. It's to cheat people and make them think that I have this. But I don't have a scent of that divine substance. That's the position he took. I remember in first reading the second canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, when we hear Sukadeva Goswami, and it's like that, the fired up brahmachari who's saying, if your eyes don't see the divine form of the Lord, there is, like peacock plumes, he's going through all the different senses and saying how useless they are if they're not directed toward Krishna. So you think, that's the brahmachari, the fiery, the Sukadeva Goswami. But what we see in Madhya-lila in the chapter 2, the same sentiments with the same intensity coming from the lotus mouth of Srimati Radharani. Saying, if these eyes do not see Krishna, then what is the use of such eyes? If these ears do not hear the name, the sweet name of Krishna, the sweet sound of his flute, what is the purpose? Right? When we quote the verse of the Queen Rukmini, right? Srut vagunan bhuvana sundara sranvatamte. He's saying, hearing about you, I understand why there's an auditory sense. That's what hearing is meant for. It's not an option. It's what it's meant for, is to hear about you. Seeing is meant to see your divine form, the incomparable beauty, yang shama sundaram achinta guna srupam. That's why we have eyes. That's why we have the visual sense. It's not just, something you can do with your eyes. No, it's exclusively what seeing is meant for. This sort of intensity, this sort of exclusive focus, right, is expressed there. So, just as Sukadeva did in the beginning of the Bhagavatam, here in the Madhya too, Radharani, the same sort of intensity and exclusive focus on the divine form of Krishna. And these are the sentiments that Mahaprabhu came to experience. It says, quoting Rupa Goswami, Gurudev liked this verse very much. Pidabhir navakala kuta katuta garbhasya nirvasano nishyandena Sadam Madhurimam Ahankar Sankochana Prema Sundari Nandanandana Paro. That's where he says, this is so peculiar about Krishna Viraha and Krishna Prem and separation from Krishna. He said it's like that you're suffering the effects of having been poisoned by cobra venom while being bathed in an endless shower of nectar. These two things simultaneously. That's why Gurudev said, the joys of union, even an animal can understand that. He said, but the kind of joy that the heart can experience in Krishna Viraha, that is something divine. Right? And that is the subject matter and the target of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Gurudev said, if you want to understand who he is, he said, what is his tasting matter? And we find this is what it is. As Guru says, hunger, when there's extreme hunger, then you'll relish what you're tasting. Lolyam, this is that hunger, that hankering, amplified to an infinite degree. Right? Unfortunately, right, that is the how do you say? What is at the heart of the descent of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but it's also the only legitimate approach for us to try and cultivate an understanding about union. As Saraswati Thakur said, Smaranam may be injurious for neophytes. It's not realistic. It's a fantasy. It's fiction. Right? But to cultivate feelings of separation, that's the highest thing as expressed by Mahaprabhu, but it's also a legitimate position for us. It's the only legitimate approach for us, is through separation. And by the grace of Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the Rupa Nuga line, this sort of culture has been extended to us. And it all goes back, to the great Madhavendra Puri Pad. And see, this is the day that is given importance on the Vaishnava calendar, his disappearance, because it is at the time of his disappearance that this was so deeply heartfelt expressed. Hare Krishna. I want to say something in glorification of Madhavendra Puri.
It's very difficult to add something to what you've just said. However, as we say, it's more we're rubbing sandal, it's more fragrance comes out. So, first of all, when you said the word pontific, it means breach. That's a very good parallel analogy. But when we look at Sampradaya of Madhva and his service and what amazing preaching work he's done, and his commentary on Ramayana, his Mahabharata commentary, and also limitation of that, because we see Madhva is in Dasya Rasa, he's Hanuman, he's also Pranavai, he's also Bhima. So he's also Murari Gupta in Gaura-lila, and giving very deep Sanskrit understanding commentary of who Mahaprabhu is. But still, he's not a primarily player at that level of pastimes. He's a supporting force. Where Madhavendra Puri has a divine position in a very, very close circle of Krishna, as we can say, the Manjari, the supreme gopis, and his position is such that only one who have that feeling of Krishna-prem can bestow it. So Mahaprabhu is choosing him to show, you cannot get this anywhere else, it has to only come from devotee. So Madhavendra Puri descend, and that's how he started Gaudiya Sampradaya, with his unique feeling of devotion. How unique it is, Srila Govinda Maharaj once, I remember we were with Gurudev, and Goswami Maharaj was there, and Gurudev started speaking. And he mentioned that three had felt such a deep feeling: Radharani, Mahaprabhu, and Madhavendra Puri. So Krishna is not on the list. So that's what it is. So Krishna is not on the list. It's Radharani, Mahaprabhu, and Madhavendra Puri. So, you can only compare their heartfelt in between three of them. That's why such a unique slokas as Dina Dayal, immature or not, that feelings came. And to highlight the character of Ishvara Puri, we have Ramachandra Puri, who is, the Brahmagyani and, Paka Sannyasi, and he's finally have no understanding what Krishna consciousnness is. As much as being a disciple of great Vaishnava, he's been cursed and thrown away. However, Mahaprabhu accepts him as a guru bhai of his teacher.
His guru.
And Mahaprabhu tolerates him such that no one could tolerate Ramachandra Puri, and Ramachandra Puri would say, well, this Chaitanya, he's overeating. He's like breaking all the renunciate rules. Like, how you know? Well, I feed him myself. So it was Ramachandra Puri business to go to criticize, to find faults with others, and still, even in that negative role, he's within Mahaprabhu, and Mahaprabhu, tolerating him and thinking, no, he's my guru, God brother. He's meant to adjust me, and he's cutting on his food and telling, no, he's right, actually, I should not eat. But, everybody understands. But
breaking the heart of the devotees.
Yes.
Mahaprabhu is tolerating, but they can't.
But, and Krishna is a great drama writer, to highlight somebody's character, you have to have protagonist, antagonist.
Yes.
So there's 9 Nidhi, 9 disciples of Madhavendra Puri. But, too extreme. Ramachandra Puri, who is realized soul and fortunate soul, but has some faults. And what is his real faults? He knows the scriptures, he's super renounced person, he Paka follower of the Vedas. But one fault that he really has, he has no love and appreciation for devotees, for Vaishnavas. He loves the scriptures, he loves the rituals, he loves everything. You can say, somebody should love a spiritual path, but not having enough appreciation to Vaishnava. And when we look at Ishvara Puri, what is his service connections with Madhavendra Puri? He's not trying to sit and record the slokas. He cleansing urine and stool and, trying to release, as Guru Maharaj said, the relief work. He's trying to create relief for his preceptor, so he knows that he's in the highest plane of consciousness, and he doesn't have any doubt in what it is. So that is what Mahaprabhu is showing in relationship with spiritual master. And then to end up this story, so how much Madhavendra Puri glorious. In Garga Samhita, in Govardhana Kanda, where glories of Giriraj Govardhan, and as we know, the Gopal of Govardhan, as known as Srinathji, who's now in Natadvar, is worshipped there by Vallabha Sampradaya, which is Vallabha Bhatta, who spread out of Mahaprabhu's teaching and line. In Govardhan Kanda, it says, the Govardhan, it's a crown head of Krishna, it's a crown jewel of Krishna, and it has 4 nathas. Badrinath, the nath in Himalayas, the Jagannath in Puri, and Dwarakanath in Dwaraka, and Srinathji, that is the main, it's called Dharmapalas of Dharma. Until their deities are worshipped, Dharma will in some way present in the earth. So the Nathji is considered to be number 1 deity of expansion of Krishna himself. So that deity has been discovered by Madhavendra Puri, but that deity is specifically mentioned in Garga Samhita, and it says after 4,500 years of that deity being hiding, some great soul will come and he will reestablish the worship of that deity. So this is in Garga Samhita. So that who discovered that? Madhavendra Puri. So thousands of years ago, his glories are there, and so if somebody will say, well, like once traveling in Rajasthan, I met one Baba, let's call him Baba, and he told him, well, we'll know there's only 4 Vaishnava Sampradaya, there's no 5 Vaishnava Sampradaya. He's like, no, there's no, Gaudiya Vaishnava, no, it's not the Vaishnava Sampradaya, there's only 4 Vaishnava Sampradaya. Well, which is, yes, we can say this is the general understanding. But if you really compare what is the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya can offer, and we know Govinda Bhashi of Baladev Vibhushan, which describes position of worship of Krishna, the highest commentary on the Bhagavatam, the Gita, which comes in Chaitanya Charitamrita, which really gives you internal esoteric meaning of Mahaprabhu descent, then we can understand this is not only one of the Vaishnava Sampradaya, we can also understand that's the most amazing and most extraordinary, and it's not only accepted by the great Pandits and great scholars, also accepted by fallen people, which is a unique part of that. And here I want to end.
Hare Krishna. There's hope. Ai dina dayadranata he maturanata kadavalaksase hridaya tvaraloka kartaram dvaita brahmyati kim karom yaham. Jai Srila Madhavendra Puri Pad Tirobhab Mahamahutavati ki jai.
Jai Shri Kirchor Gopinath ki jai.
Jai. Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha.
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 Yadavaya Madhavaya Kesavaya Namaha.
Yadavaya Madhavaya Kesavaya.
Gopal Govinda Ram Sri Madhusudan.
Gopal Govinda Ram Sri Madhusudan.
Giridhari Gopinath Madana Mohan.
Giridhari Gopinath Madana Mohan.
Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra.
Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra.
Radhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Radhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jai Rupa Sanatan Bhakta Raghunath.
Jai Rupa Sanatan Bhakta Raghunath.
Sri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunath.
Sri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunath.
Esai Gochai Kori Charana Bandhan.
Esai Gochai Kori Charana Bandhan.
Jaha Hoite Vignanas Abhishta Puran. Esai Gochai Jar Mui Taro Das.
Esai Gochai Jar Mui Taro Das.
Pansabhadra Padarenu Mora Pansagras. Kandara Charana Sevi Bhakta Sanevas. Janame Janame More Avilas. Echai Gosai Jabe Braje Koilovas.
Echai Gosai Jabe Braje Koilovas.
Radha Krishna Nitya-lila Korila Prakash.
Radha Krishna Nitya-lila Korila Prakash.
Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan.
Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan.
Shri Guru Vaishnava Pade Majayaman. Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Koriya. Harinam Sankirtan Kohe Narottamada. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Haribo, 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 Gaura Haribo. Nitai Gaur Haribo, 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 Gaura Haribo. One thing I forgot to mention, when Mahaprabhu was telling the glories of Madhavendra Puri to Nityananda Prabhu and all the devotees there, those pujaris, they offered him the 12 pots of kheer. And there's Mahaprabhu and 4 others, so he took 5, or pushed back the other 7, and the point to be considered is this. Someone could say, as Gopinath, he already tasted this. So why all the eagerness now? Because Bhog is offered to Gopinath. Right? What Mahaprabhu is eager to taste, now that he is in the position of a devotee, he can relish prasadam. Right? Krishna Krishna doesn't eat prasadam. All the bhog is offered to Krishna, he's the enjoyer. Then it's Krishna Adaramritam, touch the nectar of the lips of Krishna, it's become prasadam. Then that Mahaprabhu, now Radha Bhav, Duty Subali, enveloped in the heart and halo of Radharani, he wants to taste the prasadam, like we hear in the song, that, who is it? Danishta's taking the remnants of Sri Krishna to Radharani and her friends. So now, from her position, he wants to relish that kheer. So it's a very beautiful thing. Hare Krishna. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajaka Acharya Sateras with the Sri Srimad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govindadev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Saparikar Sri Sri Guru Gauranga Gandharva Govinda Sundar Tiyu Ki Jai. Sri Giriraj Govardhan Ki Jai. Sri Govardhana Dari Ki Jai. Sri Gopal Tiyu Ki Jai. Sri Kirchor Gopinath Ki Jai. Sri Rupanuga Guru Varga Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda. Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gopa Govinath Shyamakunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Sri Ramona Dham Ki Jai. Navadip Dham Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Ki Jai. Sri Gupta Govardhan Ki Jai. Ganga Devi Jamuna Devi Bhakti Devi Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. Sri Madhavendra Puri Pad Tirobha Mahamahotavati Ki Jai. Om Vishnupad Vishvavarenya Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Acharya Vrinda Ki Jai. Jai Srila Bhakti Avadhut Maharaj Ki Jai. Sri Bhakti Lalita Devi Dasi Ki Jai. Shama Mohini Devi Dasi Ki Jai. Seva Vrinda Ki Jai. Somaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Sri Navadip Dham Mahatmya Dham Purikrama Ki Jai. Nitai Go Premanande.